So I have this bad habit of stocking up backup parts I'll probably never use, but just in case something goes wrong with my second computer, I got some LGA 1155 parts, and I saw this really low deal, $20 for a motherboard, CPU, and memory, although it's only 8 GB of memory. Originally, I didn't want to get motherboards with only one X16 slot or not actually implemented X16 slot, but recently I came across some GPU risers, so I thought I could rig it up if I really had to. Okay, according to the documentation, this JPF1 here, it's missing a pin. I'm sure if you can see that. But in theory, hitting these two together should turn it on. Oh, that's not great. At least it's doing something, but we're going to need to put a keyboard in at this point. Okay, well here is the CPU memory motherboard combo, and I'm using power supply from an earlier computer that pretty much doesn't work anymore properly. And I'll probably put this motherboard in that case. That are on, with one pin that's missing, two next to it are the power on. Power on. Let's see what we got. Keeps on saying CPU or memory change, don't know why. Okay, so we're going to see what we got here first of all. Let's see, settings, CPU. Oh, by the way, there's something weird going on with the fan, so I put the fan connector in again, but that fan was not turning and the temperature was going way up. Originally, okay, it's an i5 2500K CPU. Okay, I'll have to check the specs of that, but that doesn't sound that amazing. But I didn't really get it for that anyway. Okay, well there's a USB stick with the BIOS, and we're about to try to flash the latest BIOS, but I think it actually has latest BIOS. 170, so what's this one? 7IMS 170, I think it's the same thing. Okay, well it's flashing, but I don't know if it's probably just the same thing that I had in the first place, but it's a flashing. So it's completed 3 cycles through mem test with absolutely no errors. So I'd say it's rock solid. Trouble is, when I started this, I set the CPU into round robin mode, and this is like do them all at the same time mode. And whenever you're in round robin mode in somewhere, earlier on in the test, it just hangs, right? I thought, well, there's a problem with overheating. My first idea was it's overheating here, right? But what happened was I went to another computer, a totally different computer. So it seems to me that this series of CPUs and this utility has an issue with the round robin setting. I've seen on the other computer where I get this error in SMT, symmetrical multi-threading, that I don't get when SMT is off with the memory. So I just thought, oh, well, it's not the memory's problem. It probably isn't. But what it does say is it could be dangerous when you're in an operating system that's using multi-core, that there could be some sort of issue. So I got this motherboard as kind of like a backup for my second computer, which also has a LGA 1155. And it's similar, but right now I'm using 2 GPUs in Blender. And this particular board, it only has a 116 slot. It's got a ×1 slot. It's got a PCI slot, right? And the PCI slot's kind of convenient because I can put in a sound card that has an audio amplifier built in, but at the same time, there's no slot for a second GPU. But somebody's giving these away on the internet, and these are X1 GPU risers. So this is the sort of thing that crypto miners, were in the business of. I don't really understand how it works, but they can actually make money off of creating these primary codes or something. And so what I could do is I could put together like another slot, because that's a micro ATX board, so you can, these things have more slots than for micro ATX. So you could, tap in some screws and put some riser screws on there and install some of these, riser cards, get the second CPU. That's an absolute emergency. Like, I don't know in any time that I'm going to be around that, I'm going to need that to do this, but, I could do that. But it's going to my parents' basement, and it could flood, the basement could flood or something, so I don't know. I don't know what to do, but I'm kind of voting to send to my parents right now. Okay, so I have the motherboard in the case, and I had some issues at starting, but it looked like it had to do with these cards maybe dust or something, I don't know. I took them out, I put them back in. So far I had some issue with this the speaker here because the wire isn't long enough, but I had some parts to my Arduino to kind of jumper it, and I'm kind of worried about that getting loose, and right now I haven't heard the speaker do anything, which is a little bit concerning. But I have all these drives from some office equipment we threw out, and the trouble is this is like one of those 2.5 drives. So I'm thinking I could do here is, because it's got connector things here, is I can put it right here, and I put these strips on so that the back circuit board isn't going to hit anything, and there doesn't look to be a lot of conductors there anyway. It's a solder mask, but that should protect it. And then I'm going to put another strap around it, around this part here, so that it will make sort of a second connection to it staying on. So I have these long screws that I have that appear to be the right screws. I'm going to put that on now. So on this totally ugly ATX case, part of the chassis comes apart, so that it made it sort of easier to get your screwdriver in there to do that. And the only thing that's kind of dangerous about this is the way I did it. It's kind of putting kind of like a bending force on the drive, but oh well, we'll see how it goes. So here's a good picture of the final setup. I was tempted to put a beefy GPU in there, but it requires a power supply that I have but not here. And I sort of argued that I'd use it for not for gaming but just for internet. So maybe quiet with that heat sink on the GPU there with no fan, but it's kind of like an iron, and I'm a little bit worried about temperature. Okay, well, I'm pretty certain that this computer is working properly. What I did was I connected the Ethernet cable to this router here, and this router is actually acting as a client to my main router. So what's happening is the internet here is coming as a link from there to my main router, which is actually going out on my cell phone, because all this data is actually going out through my iPhone, another iPhone I have. So then what happened was, in here there's this one of these sound cards, one of these older kind of Ensoniq sound cards that has a onboard amplifier. So using the little breakout cable I have here, I can use speakers. This is the big plus of using this sort of system with a PCI slot already, is that I can put sound out these speakers without any other hardware, and also have like an inline equalizer. I'll demonstrate that later. Yeah, so it sounds pretty actually low, but I want to piss off the neighbors. $3,957 when we visited in their office. I hope this guide gave you some insight as you plan your next trip to Iceland. If you found this to be helpful, please consider subscribing for more travel tips and inspiration. Please let us know in the comments which country guide you'd love to explore next. And thanks for watching. So this is the particular card I used, and it has that onboard amplifier you see in the upper left-hand side there. And when you move the jumper a certain way, line out becomes speaker out. So I found this easy effects for Linux, and it's really great because it pre-DSPs your output line to your speakers. So that means that you can sort of like correct for any problems with your speakers very conveniently. But you have to watch out for when you're in capture, because it captures the modified signal. Thanks for watching.